Hello everyone, how are we all doing today? Welcome to the stream. This will be our first time streaming animation. I have not streamed animation. Hello everyone. Hugo, how's it going? Lotus Prince, hello. But yes, as I mentioned in the last stream, I do not stream animation because I believed it would be incredibly annoying listening to a single line 100 times as I scrub through it, meticulously animating every detail. But chat seemed interested, so this is going to be a little bit of an experimental stream where I stream some animation, and we'll see how it goes, and if people like it or if people find it really annoying, that will affect what I stream in the future. So I'm going to do a Nightmare Kart cutscene, and yeah, we're gonna do a Nightmare Kart cutscene. A difference between Nightmare Kart cutscenes and Bunless Show cutscenes is that there is no facial animation for Nightmare Kart cutscenes, and hold on, is something wrong with my mix it up? Okay, I got the ping, but I don't see the notification. Hold on, chat, 1 second. Let me Twitch. Hold on, I'm gonna do a fake ping, a test ping. Okay, let's switch on over to the main viewer. Okay, we're in the main viewer. Let me do a test ping now. Okay, it looks like something... We're not getting any visuals, which is bad, but I will call them out. LWMedia, thank you for the Prime sub, and Hugo, thank you for the Prime, I believe that is a resub. Thank you so much. I am trying to get Mix It Up to work. Okay, we hear the ping. You hear the ping, right? Oh, I think my mic's too loud. Hold on. Mic check, 1, 2. Okay, Fudge Muffins. Do I need to restart the stream? Do I need to restart Mix It Up? Let me restart Mix It Up, maybe? So you hear the ping, but you don't see the, the visual, right? That's so strange. Alright, let's try this again, shall we? Events, Twitch, fall mode? Fascinating. Okay, so... Okay, we're not getting a visual. I am trying to... Okay, I need to stop streaming in a couple of hours, so I don't want to spend half the stream trying to fix this. So I'm just going to do my best to call out when subscriptions happen. So we are going to get to work immediately. So this is going to be, we're not going to get very far in this cutscene. Cutscenes take days to animate, so we're not going to get very far. But we have all of our characters here. We have the 3 snake women, and we have the main character, Victor. I'm gonna remove that cane. Did I remove that cane? I don't know. So we're just gonna go on ahead and just get started. We have our camera. We're going to set the camera distance. We're kind of just setting up the scene before we start animating. We also have to import our recorded lines from the Snake Ladies. The Matilda sisters, they're called, are voiced by one Tash Ritter, and Victor is voiced by Tom Schaug. We're probably only going to do like a couple, I don't even know if we're going to be able to get through a whole bunch of lines. But to circle back on what I was talking about, the difference between Nightmare Kart animations and Bunlets for animations is the lack of facial animation. Bunlets show most of the expressions are from the facial animations, but we don't really have that for Nightmare Cart, just because they're, you know, the animation style is obviously heavily inspired by Souls games, specifically Bloodborne, and those cutscenes never have a focus on facial animation for various reasons. And, you know, we're emulating that style, so, you know, we're not going to have super exaggerated facial, you know, anime style cartoony facial expressions, because that's just not how Bloodborne cutscenes are animated. Okay, so we are going to grab the audio. I have the folder structure open in my other window, so we're just going to, let's see here, Victor campaign lines. Here we go. Got all of our campaign lines here. This is Victor's first line. We also need to get the lines from the snake ladies. Okay, so it looks like I haven't actually processed the lines. So, and I really should have processed these lines before the stream started. Okay, so I'm going to actually, I'm so sorry, chat. I'm going to dip to BRB for a few minutes while I just grab the first couple of lines, and then we're going to animate them. Actually, we'll do that after, like, a little bit, once we set the scene up. I'll take a little break, like I do on all my streams, and I'll just process the lines during that. Because the first part of the cutscene has no dialogue. So we're going to, I'm going to open up Unreal Engine Nightmare Cart in the background. And while that's opening, we're going to set the scene up. So everyone needs their carts. And if I'm not mistaken, the 3 carts that the snake ladies drive is the titular Nightmare Cart. So we're going to go to carts. Oops. We're going to go to carts. We're going to go to cart light, import the light cart. There'll be a whole bunch of crap in here. We're just going to delete all that. So we just have our cart. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. So one of them drives that cart. The other one drives the Nightmare motorcycle, I guess you can call it. Which is, I believe, called the Bike Heavy. Which, here it is. Nope. Objects. Okay. Got a bunch of crap. Once again, we're going to delete all that. Here's our bike. So we're going to move the bike over here. Okay. This bike has a missing texture, which is the carriage, which should be in the Yarnum file structure, but I don't see it. There it is. Okay. There we go. Okay. So there's our bike. And the third one rides a pig. So we're going to go over and grab the giant boar pig. I cannot. The pig is not here. Where's our pig? Where is our pig? Okay, because the pig is technically not a cart. The pig is an enemy. So we're going to go to assets, character, giant pig, append objects, giant pig. Okay, specular. I'm trying to get through this as fast as possible because I know everyone's here to see me animate, not set scenes up. Okay. You eated it? Oh no! Okay, this, I remember this pig is also scaled down. I forget by how much. Also, this is the wrong texture. We need the legally distinct texture. There we go. Pink pig. Oh. Well, that seems kind of small. Okay. Now, I actually lied. Chat. When people want to see me animating, I'm certain they want to see me do dialogue. So I actually am going to process. I'm going to dip down to BRB real quick. I'm going to process some lines, and then we'll get back and we'll start doing the dialogue. So I'll be right back, everyone. I am so sorry about this. I really wish I had the foresight to process the first couple of lines before starting the stream. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So be right back, everyone. Ahem. Ahem, ahem. Testing, testing. Okay, we are back. I forgot to do chat. I forgot to do a volume check, which would be pretty good to do because, oh gosh, just okay. As soon as the second I come off of screen, someone's at the door. Okay, I'm going to BRB for 5 more seconds. I'm so sorry. Okay, so we're going to do a volume check here. I'm going to add some of these lines. So we processed 4 lines. You put them in here. First off, can you just hear the can you hear the music at all from Night in the Woods? Does anyone hear the music? If you can hear the music, that would be great. If you can't, let me know. If the music is too loud, if my volume is too loud, let's just do a mic check. There's music, question mark. Okay, so that is too quiet. So we're going to raise that by quite a bit. I just don't want it to overpower the audio that we have here. So I want to say that's too loud now. Lower that a little bit. Seems good. Okay, awesome. So we're going to be doing some volume. And by volume, I mean volume check for the voice acting. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to go through, I guess we'll do a Victor's line, right? These 2 lines. I'm just going to play these 2 lines, Victor's line and Matilda's sister 4, line 4. So I'm just going to play these. We're going to do a volume check, see if we can hear it over me talking, over the music.
It doesn't concern you, and I am no hunter. Now let me pass.
Not a hunter.
Talking check, talking check.
It doesn't
Talking
concern
check. So
you.
I'm talking,
and I am no
the volume
hunter.
from the voice acting is currently playing and the music
Not
is currently playing.
a hunter.
How does that sound, chat? A bit quiet but audible. Okay, so I'm going to lower the music a little bit. And then I'm going to boost the overall PC audio. So that means that the dialogue will be louder now, but the
It
music
doesn't
will be
concern
quieter.
you,
So,
and I am no hunter.
blah, blah, blah.
Now let me pass.
How does that sound, chat? How does that sound
A
compared to
hunter.
my voice?
It doesn't concern
music.
you, and I am no hunter. Now let me pass.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so chat, for those who don't know, the Matilda sisters have a unique style of animation where they like dancing around the player and like backing into darkness, and they don't even really like walk. They kind of just like float around. So that's gonna be really fun to work with. They do have a single control for dialogue. So here's a close-up of the snake ladies. They have a single a single control for facial expression, which is basically just mouth open and closed. So this is what we're gonna do for dialogue. So we're not gonna be swapping out, you know, over 100 mouth textures to like, you know, match the dialogue. We're just gonna go like blah blah blah, you know, and that's gonna be awesome. So that's what we're gonna do. So, do we have? Do we set up distance fog? Do I care? I kind of just want to get started animating. So we're gonna have these cards here. Just real quick, the setup for this cutscene is these Matilda sisters are blocking the way forward. So we're just gonna like model something really quick, just to preview, just to get that idea across, right? Right. So we're just gonna have this is gonna be temporary. We're gonna make an actual environment for this. But the idea is that there's like a narrow path forward that the Matilda sisters are blocking, and they are, you know, why does this always default to mix? And they are, you know, harassing the main character, Victor, like toying with him, right, with their dialogue. And Victor is having none of it, so that's basically the emotion, like the vibe of the cutscene, right? This is just placeholder. But this is more or less the scene here, right? The carts are blocking the way. I don't even think I want to have the sisters coming away from, like, getting off the carts. dismounting. I think I just want to have the carts in the background. The Matilda sisters are already standing here menacingly, doing their A poses, and Victor is standing here. And then they're gonna kind of dance around him while they do their dialogue. Okay, so what is the first line, Chad?
Another lost hunter sticking its nose where it does not belong.
Another lost hunter sticking its nose where it does not belong. All right, so I want to say, okay, so what the Matilda sisters do is they back into darkness, and they aren't visible anymore. And then when their line comes in, they come out of the darkness and kind of surprise you, right? They're very ghost-like in that way. So I do think we should have, for the sake of previewing, we should have distance fog set up here so we can make sure it looks correct. So we are going to have to set that up, unfortunately. And distance fog is super annoying to set up in Blender. So we're going to append, there's a specific tool that we use from Drips PSX that has, oh golly, it's called Fake Mist, so we're just going to go ahead and add that, Fake Mist, put it in here. It has to be a set distance. That is obvious. This fake mist is obviously not dense enough, so we're going to. I'm gonna make a driver, just so I have some control over it. What's up? Okay, chat, sorry, I was getting lunch figured out. Okay. Rough. There's a dog here. That's crazy. Okay, so we're going to set, don't remember how to set this driver up. We're going to make a driver. Add driver. It's going to be, okay, we're just gonna hard code the driver. I do not feel like, or hard code the distance. I do not feel like figuring out drivers right now. So it's gonna be 50 meters for the distance fog. That is not enough, so it's gonna be 10 meters. No, is it gonna be 3 meters? 4 meters? 5 meters. Are we going 6 meters? 6 meters, 6 meters, ladies and gentlemen, 6 meters. 6 meters, 7 meters. We got 7 meters. Okay. 6 meters seems good. Okay. I don't know what happened with their faces. Motorcycle, Nightmare Kart. I think that's called the Hunter Kart, not the Nightmare. Okay, then we'll put it on. I guess Victor will never be in the fog, but we might as well just put it on him, just for the sake of consistency. the distance fog. It's a bit of an awkward implementation. It's input in the material level, which is very strange. But okay, so that's everything. Okay, so here's our distance fog. Beautiful. I'm just gonna put a sphere up. There we go. Okay, so here's our distance fog. This is going to be a sky. The sky does not have distance fog because the sky has a unique texture that we're going to use, which is very great for implying silhouettes against the background. We have sky textures. Let me see if I can pick it up real quick. So we're going to go to our asset list. We're going to go to textures. Let me see if I remember where our skies are. Would that be in environments? General skies? Okay, so we have the forest sky. There we go. It appears to be unwrapped incorrectly. No, we have the wrong texture loaded. So let us go ahead and move into our... Here we go. Okay. Okay, so then we unwrap it. Something like that. Okay. So that's our sky. Beautiful. We're just going to scale this up. Alright, chat. I know I'm trying to get the animation as fast as possible, but we do need a functional set, even if it's temporary, for it to function. Okay, so there's our sky. Beautiful. Okay. So now we can actually see the valley between us, right? We have all this beautiful stuff. Okay. This should be more than enough for us to get started. So, we need an establishing shot. I don't know why my hand is currently broken. Like I'm doing a kind of thing, which is very funny. That's not intentional though. Okay, no device detected. Hold on, chat. There's something wrong with my... Come on. Pick up my hands. There we go. It's backwards. No? Okay, we're good. Okay. So I want to say the distance fog is a bit too extreme, but... So there will be some, like, this is coming out of a gameplay scene, so we don't need to like animate this traditionally like this is for a show, right? Because we already have an establishing shot. In that it's the gameplay, you already know the level we're in. So we are going to... I'm just trying to get to the dialogue as fast as possible, so I actually have something to show. It's like something so we're actually animating stuff. Okay, so first we need to put these characters in a default pose, in a more natural pose, not just a pose, not just an A pose. Once again, they kind of just slide around like ghosts. Like, they do technically have legs, but they kind of just slide around like ghosts. They're very ethereal like that. Okay, so we're going to they're going to be looking the other way, and then they turn around to look at the character, Victor, who shows up, and look, you know, and then starts toying with them. But we do need a shot showing that their carts are blocking the way forward. Right. And we need to show that there's 3 of them. 3 of them. So like our first shot will be the 3 of them looking, turning and looking at us in the camera. So we're just doing something generic here. Just something like, you know, hands down. Once we get the camera set up, we'll block them out properly. I just need something to start with. That's just kind of my process, my iterative process. We'll do they have little snakes. They have little chest snakes, which we'll animate later. Tummy snakes, I guess. They're not snitties. They are tummy snakes. Okay. Here we go. Pretty simple. You know, they're looking this way, and then they're going to. So Victor is going to be here. This is going to be a gameplay element. Victor is going to be on his cart at the start of this cutscene, and then later he's going to be off of his cart and he's going to be standing and emoting like a character would. But that's going to be a gameplay. That is going to be a gameplay asset, right? The player pawn is going to be loaded there, and he's going to be, you know, coming to a stop on his cart, whatever cart that is. We don't know what cart the player currently has equipped. So, I mean, we might for the tutorial, but this is still going to be a gameplay element. So this is not going to be animated. So we're just going to have him here in his pose. I guess we'll just like do something really simple, just so people don't tell me that it looks like that I forgot to animate an asset. So we'll just have him here. Very simple pose. Nothing crazy. Kind of just, you know, he's got a cane, so he leans into his cane a little bit, right? Support for his leg. Nothing crazy. Like I said, we're not actually going to use this animation. I just want something here as a placeholder. Go. Okay. There we go. So we're going to. Where's the curves? Oh, here's your curves. Curves are right here. Okay, so this is the first frame. So it's going to be a vector curve. Okay, and then we're gonna go. We need to first off we need to make sure our cutscene's at 30 FPS. Awesome. So the camera shows Victor. Flies past him. So now we're on frame 70. We're going to set the camera to fly past Victor and like land here, right? And we're gonna do a Dutch angle because this is a scary game. That's how it works, right? So yeah, Dutch angle will be good. Like this is a good thing. This is a good little block out for these characters here. There we go. Okay, so we're just gonna preview this. We dropped two keyframes down. Okay, that's kind of bad. So so we're gonna drop some more keyframes across this. Okay. We actually don't want we want the Dutch angle to kind of lean in at the end there. We don't want a linear. We don't want a linear, interpolate between 0 Dutch angle to max Dutch angle. Shout out to the Dutch for inventing this angle, actually. By the way. Okay. So we're going to turn on motion trails, motion paths. So this will just like show the path that the camera's taking. So we're gonna go to frame 9. Awesome. So a little bit of slow. Beautiful. What is our FOV on this? It is 80. The background music is 9 blitz. Okay, so we're actually going to zoom in even more, right? Like this. Perfect. What is the first line again? Another lost hunter. Perfect. Okay, so we're going. So I have a little preview at the top right. So when I am of the camera view, so when I'm like orbiting around, I can see what the actual camera is looking at. So we're gonna block this out a little differently. Right, so we're gonna have the main character, the central Matilda sister, right here, and then we're going to have, let's see here, yes, the other sister will be right here, and sister number 3, or actually, I believe the script referred to her as sisters A, B, and C, so sister C will be over here, okay, and then they all turn to look at the player intimidatingly. So we're just going to do the, there's like, slow breathing and like naturalistic animations. Even when they're standing still, you still need to animate them, right? They always still look like a statue. But we're not going to do that yet. We're going to put down the two most important keyframes, which is them looking away from the camera, and then them looking towards the camera, menacingly. We just need to get those poses down. We need to get all that nice and blocked out. Okay, and then we'll figure the pacing out and the timing later. Okay. So now we're gonna animate them. So as you can see, I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger so y'all can see it. The preview on the top right. Okay, so now they turn intimidatingly towards the camera. Cock the arm out a little bit. She's turning. Like I said, their feet kind of float. They kind of float around. Like you can see, there's legs here in the rig, but they're more ghost-like. That's not intimate. I mean, they look kind of goofy. They're snake ladies. But I mean, that's the whole humor of Nightmare Kart, right? Is that it takes itself very seriously, which is where the humor comes from. So we need to be leaning. So she's still kind of upright. She needs to be leaning towards the camera, like really leaning into it, like that, right? I mean, that's too close. She's taking up the entire frame, right? You need to be more hunched over. You are scary. You are hunched over. We are going to pull the camera back. These are rhetorical questions, by the way. I'm kind of just rubber ducking here. Okay, and then you. Okay, I'm just gonna rotate you. Cocking one arm back, but the arm you're turning towards back. The other arm kind of dangles forward. You want it to be creepy, right? So you don't just want them just standing there like some guy or some girl in this instance. They're intimidating enemies. So obviously, her head is blocked a little bit. Now, we do a lower angle. We're gonna do a lower angle like this. There we go. See, that looks good. See, look at that. That's a nice dynamic looking shot there. Beautiful. So the answer to this, the purpose of the piggy is the piggy. One of the sisters, one of these 3 sisters rides the piggy. One of them rides this cart. One of them rides the motorcycle, and one of them rides the piggy. Beautiful. And then the problem is this camera. We're not widescreen. This is 4:3. So we need to really cram these characters into the frame here. So we're actually gonna lower your arm. You're gonna be stooping even more to get you into the frame here. Beautiful. Okay, and then sister number 3. Influen is asking, do you auto key or are you hitting a hotkey? I'm pressing I to insert keyframe. Okay, so you're actually gonna be closer. You're gonna be way closer to the frame. Pseudo Spectre says, how painful is it to move all this from Blender to Unreal when you're done? It is extremely painful. It will be extremely painful. It is extremely painful, and I hate doing it every time. Okay, so we're gonna raise you up like this. This one's a little smug. So these two have like their noses are pointing downwards. Just to differentiate, this character is going to have their head a little higher up, but still looking at you all scarily. You know, they're like, ooh, a new toy to play with. This is Night in the Woods music. That is correct. Yes, the Matilda sisters were kind of an unexpected fan favorite, so while they are not major characters in the DLC that we're working on, I do want them to be in a cutscene. So they are going to be the characters that gives Victor his first clue on his journey throughout the story. They are the characters that give him his first clue. You don't have eyes to animate, so we really need to exaggerate where their head is pointing at, so we can kind of figure them out. Okay, now of course we can give the person a little more personality by opening and closing their mouths. A little more differentiated personality. Okay, awesome. So obviously it looks bad, right? So of course we only have our keyframes down, but we need to actually animate them so it looks good and the timing's good and everything. So you know that looks very amateur, but this is a thing with animation, is that a lot unfinished 3D animation looks bad. It just looks like it's been animated poorly. Unfinished 2D animation, you can see the skill on the page, right? But unfinished 3D animation, it just looks bad, right? Oh shoot, an outfit swap. All right, let us go ahead and do an outfit swap. Okay. All right, awesome sauce. All right, okie dokie. Okay, so obviously they're all synchronized. We're going to offset where they start, which keyframe they start at. Okay. And then of course, how bodies work is your head your head moves before the rest of your body does, right? Elbow back, Quinny says, you gotta throw in more outfits. Yes! To be honest, I switched to a new computer, and I do not have the tools to make new VTubers anymore. And I don't do commissions anymore, so there's no pressure for me to get all that set up again, but you know, I need to do it eventually, I guess. I have so many new Bunlith outfits that are not VTubified yet. Slow down a little bit as they reach their destination frame. We're going to over-rotate a little bit, have the head go down a little bit. Okay, arm goes back a little bit, just to emulate some breathing, right? So we're animating the center one right now. Okay, so that's very bad. Okay, let's open up the curve editor. So let's see what the verdict is, what the issue is here. So we're going to go to rotation. Okay, as you can see, this curve is not smooth, so that's where our problem is. So let us smooth this out. This is the rotation. Okay, here we go. So I think it's a bit too fast. So it looks bad and stiff, so we're working on it. Okay, everything else here is crimped as well. So let's just... Hello, Solarpunk. We're doing pretty good. We're setting up the first establishing shot of these characters. Luke and Dr. Waddle D, I'm going to politely ask you two to take your off-topic conversation into DMs. Thank you very much. So, let us just fix these curves here, and we should get a little more of a natural look here. Ron Coney says, glad to finally catch a stream, been following on Blue Sky for a while. Cheers from Brazil. Hello, happy to have you. Okay, so that looks very unnatural. Let's see what the problem is here. So we're going to, okay, so it looks like, I'm going to say the rotation on you is wrong. So the upper body is moving too much in between the frames, so we're just going to... Animation looks great. I don't think it looks great yet. It still looks very stiff, but I appreciate it. Okay, that looks better. We're only animating the middle character right now. Okay, there is a kind of a artificial pop right there. It looks a little weird. Dev Mad, it's kind of difficult to read your Unicode text. I'm sorry, I don't think I have the ability to glance and read that out loud while I'm working at the same time. I'm really sorry. This keyframe is bad. So one thing I noticed is one thing I picked up is sometimes when animation looks like it has an issue, Like, you see how the head is looking down and then pops up like that, right? Like, you know, we have to put this marker here. The nose goes down, and then it stays at a level area, right? And we can localize to this keyframe right here is bad. So we're gonna delete this keyframe, we're gonna try it again. That looks better, right? Yeah, the suspense on the turn. Oh gosh, another outfit swap, huh? Okay, then we're going to... Yeah. They look kind of silly. I would say that is of a acceptable quality for a Nightmare Kart cutscene. We want these cutscenes to be better than the original campaign's cutscenes. The original campaign's cutscenes they're pretty okay. Okay, but of course they are still statue static while the camera comes in, right? So that's pretty easy. We'll do a simple breathe. So let's put the hands down, body down. You know, they're going like this, and their heads out, and their shoulders are down because they're on an exhale right now. So let's have this, and then just copy it back here. Vector. Beautiful. Invul says, I feel like the Blender people had grand designs for the 3D cursor, but I can't figure out what to do with it. I think the 3D cursor is one of the greatest tools, unique tools that Blender has added that other things don't use, other software doesn't use, and I definitely feel its absence. I love the cursor. You can do so many fun tricks with it, like just getting things to line up in a specific axis or a specific way. You know, like, oh, I want this to line up with this vertex, so I can just map it and then just scale it. And there you go. Now it's lined up perfectly. And like, oh, well, it's messed up, and now we can scale them both and match this exact location. I fucking love the cursor so much. It lets you do so many things so quickly. But I don't want to get too distracted. Yeah, that's pretty scary. And also, I've noticed, like, when I need to line, like let's just say the character puts a hand on her face, right? So I can like try and line it up and like look at how many clicks I need to do to get this to work, and like camera pans and stuff, right? Or I can just drop a cursor on her face and then just snap it to the cursor, and that just goes so much faster. I love the cursor. The cursor is incredible. Okay, so Waddle D is asking, what was my first game that inspired me to do these types of animations? I can't trace it all back to a single game. I mean, I guess I could. I was inspired to do... What do you mean, these animations? These types of animations? Do you mean like cutscenes? Like, I mean, yeah, I mean, like, you know, I wanted to make video... excuse me, game cutscenes, for a long time. You know, just that just came with my, love for video games and wanting to make video games. And, you know, the first game that really instilled... You know, that made me want to make video games. I played video games before, but the game that really made me want to make video games would be Ocarina of Time. Right. But that's not the only game that inspired me, right? That's looking pretty good, honestly. That's nice and scary. I wonder if we could actually put the first line. Hold on. Okay, I'm noticing that the snake lady is starting here and ending here in terms of their center of gravity. They're shifting to the right, and you can kind of see it, right? Like you can see, like they are right here in the frame, and then when we go through, they shift to the right. So let's go ahead. Let us go ahead and fix that. There it is. So this is our X movement. Zito, thank you so much for the 500 bits. I'm so sorry that we have the notification noise, but for some reason the visual is broken. I'm gonna do my best to fix that before our next stream. But so I'm just gonna say it right now. Thank you so much, Zito, for the 500 bits. That is incredible. I appreciate you. Okay. So we're gonna have them shift to the right less. Ah, here we go. Here's the culprit. Perfect. Okay, our first line is another lost hunter sticking its nose where it does not belong. This is a perfect place to put that line, right? This character, this central character, Snake A, actually I think it's Sister B. Sister B is turning towards the camera with her mouth agape. This is a perfect place to deliver a line. So we're going to just drop this line here and see how it feels.
Another lost hunter sticking its nose where it does not belong.
Unfortunately, this is kind of too energetic for what we have here. So I'm just going to, once again, like scrubbing through dialogue is probably going to be very annoying volume-wise. So I'm just going to see if we can grab some other takes to work with. I don't want to play the unedited recording session for the Tash, because, you know, that seems a little weird. So I'm just going to go ahead and mute audio for a second. Just the PC audio while I scrub through this. And see if there's any other takes we can use. Okay, so there is a line here that's a lot less energetic, which matches this slow camera pan. So I'm just going to go ahead and export this. Okay, I'm going to turn audio back on. We're going to grab another Lost Hunter take 3. I'm going to just drop that here. Wait, this one. Let's see how this feels.
Another lost hunter sticking its
Beautiful.
nose where it does not belong. Another lost hunter.
So this is the part where I was worried with dialogue in the stream, because we're just going to be hearing this line being skipped around like 100 times. So I'm going to do my best to keep that to a minimum. But it's just going to be reality of what we're doing here. I wonder if I just lower the volume so y'all don't have to worry about it as much. It's going to be very annoying.
Another lost hunter sticking its nose where it does not belong.
Beautiful. Okie dokie. So we're going to... yeah, I'm just going to lower the volume significantly so it isn't as annoying as we scrub through this.
Another lost hunter.
Okay. So of course the main central character in the frame is this one, and just because we are looking at this character, these characters do not need to be animated to as high a quality. But we still need to put some effort in, right? So now we're gonna do a bit of a simple breathe cycle here when the camera is panning in on these characters. Snake A, Sister A, and Sister C are these characters. Because it doesn't really matter. They all have the same voice, so it doesn't really matter which character is which. Like, we don't need to differentiate them or anything, right? So we're looking at the character right now.
Another lost.
So once again, we turn the head before the rest of the body, right? Down. Then we're going to have center of gravity. At the end of the turn,
Another
just for
lost
some
hunter.
flare. Awesome.
Another lost hunter.
And then, of course, we're going to animate their mouths. Very simple. We only have one control for this, which is fine.
Another lost
Mouth
hunters.
more. Awesome.
Another lost
It would be closed.
Another lost hunters.
And this character is going to start with an open mouth, just to keep things interesting. This character is going to have an open mouth, and then when she turns, she's going to close her mouth,
Lost.
just to keep things visually interesting. Beautiful.
Another lost hunters.
You actually shift way too much in terms of location. Yeah, look at that. That's bad. That is way too much movement. So we're going to drop we're using the cursor. So here's another example. We're going to grab the second keyframe. We're going to drop a cursor to where the bone is, to where the character is. We're going to go back to the first keyframe, and as you can see, she is significantly off center from her cursor, from the cursor. So we're going to teleport her back to the cursor, drop a keyframe. She's now, of course, too close to Sister B, so we're just going to shift her over a little bit. Right?
Another lost hunter.
We're going to have her turn last, actually. Yeah, we're going to have her turn last. Just so they're not, like, perfectly in sync or anything.
Another.
Once again, the head turns first. Actually, we're gonna have the head turn last. Actually.
Another.
Like she's occupied looking at her cart.
Another lost hunter. Another lost hunter. Another lost hunter. Lost hunter. Another lost hunter.
So once again, they're a bit too synchronized.
Another lost hunter sticking in.
And then the mouth is going to open again, very slowly, right? Just something, just a little bit of movement there. Just so there's something. Awesome. Push it down a little more. Yeah, these characters do not need as much attention as the central character, right? But they do need an amount of attention. Kibby is saying it is difficult to hear me. Chat, we're going to do another mic check, volume check. How am I in relation to the music? Everyone said the music was okay when we did a volume check earlier, but I just want everyone to tell me how I sound in relation to the music. Thank you so much, chat. How are we doing volume-wise, chat? music is a bit loud. Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and lower it. It might be the playlist switched to a louder track or something. Okay, how about now? I'm sure this is a lot quieter now. Okay, so now we're going to quote-unquote lip sync the character. Just so you know who's talking. Okay. So once again, it's just flapping. It's just a flapping jaw opening and close. That's the only thing we have. Lost Hunter. The Yappers.
Another lost hunter.
Awesome. Okay. So we don't want the mouth to be flapping too violently.
Another lost hunter. Sticking its nose where
Just doing a freehand? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Freehands in Bunlith. That's what they call me. Sticking. So we're just doing the mouth. We haven't animated this part yet, but I kind of like doing the mouths ahead of the animation, just so I have more time to sit with the dialogue. Its nose. Nose. No, that doesn't work. Kibby says, freehanding lip sync with character with a big mouth, it's like animating a hand puppet. I mean, I guess, you know, one could say all of 3D animation is a type of puppetry. I mean, I guess all animation is, but specifically 3D animation, because they are kind of like dolls that you pose, as opposed to 2D animation. If for the most part, in a general sense, you know, they're drawn, you're making each asset to the pose. Obviously, you know, there's different types of 2D animation that isn't like that, which is more like posing with dolls, but anyways. Where? Where it?
Where it does not.
Excuse me.
Where it does not. Where it does not.
does
Does
not belong.
belong. Does not belong. Another lost hunter sticking its nose where it does not belong.
Awesome. Bit too hippity hoppity there. Do we add chat? Do we add more controls to these characters? Because I want the DLC to feel like it is of higher quality than the main campaign. Can we add more controls? I don't think I want to, honestly. Tongue is not rigged. Okay, so chat, for context, this character is a rebrand of the Shadows of Yharnam from Bloodborne. The Shadows of Yharnam, to make it really simple, the Shadows of Yharnam looked like this. They had, you know, they're ring wraiths, right? They are just empty cloaks. So basically, when I made them legally distinct, I took one of these snake heads here and placed it in the open head hole. Right? Because of that, there are no rig controls for the head, because the character is rigged already, and I hastily made a legally distinct version with the legally distinct hats on top of the little tummy snakes. So there is a lack of control for the head. That is just a limitation from the rebrand. Do I add controls to this? No. This character needs to be imported into Unreal Engine, which means that I need to update their rig in Unreal Engine, and that could break their old cutscenes that have already been animated. This is a very complicated thing, adding some new controls. It isn't just I just add new controls in Blender and we're done. That can break in a million different ways. Do I bother doing that? No, is my solution. No, all these cutscenes are in engine. This is, Nightmare Kart is more inspired by, like, Metal Gear Solid than Final Fantasy, right? Metal Gear Solid had the in-engine cutscenes. I find in-engine cutscenes more interesting, instead of just playing a video file. That is just my preference, and obviously this is my game, so that's what my preference is.
Sticking its nose where it does not belong.
However, chat, adding new bones is probably not going to be possible. Adding new shape keys might be. This is going to be one of our first cutscenes we see in the engine, in the DLC, so I think it might be worth doing that. Adding shape keys would be easier anyways, theoretically, because that doesn't alter the rig.
Another lost hunter.
But also we're kind of opening Pandora's box here, right? So I think I'm going to say no. This DLC is taking too long to develop anyways. Why add more work to it?
Another lost hunter. Sticking its nose where it does not belong.
All right, what's the next line?
This one isn't going to the clock tower.
The next one is this one is not going to the clock tower. Invalwen says tongued vertex shader, making it just flop around as it will. PS1 did not have access to that technology, so we are not doing that.
This one isn't going to the clock tower. Then where, pray tell, is it going?
Excuse me. Also, just a reminder, no ideas, no suggestions. Thank you so much. Even if they're jokes, sometimes they can be read incorrectly. Thank you very much. Okay. Oh, cool workstation. Thank you. Oh, I was muted for a sec. Sorry. I was blowing my nose.
Last hunters. Another last hunter. Another last hunter.
Okay, so I'm gonna lower the volume again. Once again, this is the part I don't like. I didn't want to stream, right? Where you're just hearing the same line 100 times.
Another last hunter.
Okay, so we're gonna move the head to in line with the dialogue, right? Sticking. Tough Toff is now saying it is you can barely that they can barely hear me. Chat, I'm gonna ask everyone how my microphone volume is doing. I am maxed out right below the yellow. So if we go any further, I will start blowing my volume out. Everyone else is saying they can hear me just fine. Tough, I'm going to assume that you might have something up on your end. Thank you very much. A bit quiet, but sounds fine. Okay. Yeah, I am literally like, blah. This is my mic right now. Like, we are literally just up to the yellow. And if we go into yellow, when my volume starts to get blasted out, blown out, so. Also, I want to say, like, I feel like a lot of Twitch streams are quieter than, like, average videos. I've seen that a lot. Okay, music should be even quieter. Okay, awesome. Sticking its nose. Okay. So we're gonna turn the character a little more. Right, this is a very long line, so we're gonna be kind of sitting in this shot for a second. So we're gonna have the other characters vanish into the darkness. Sticking its nose. Okay, awesome. So we're gonna move the character, move its upper body a little bit. We'll animate the snakes later. The tummy snakes. Too animated. Kibby says, I want to pet those hat snakes and give them a mouse or something. Yeah, you are too animated. You need to be kind of static. These are not Bunlith show characters, right? They're not jumping around and waving their arms and, you know, clapping their hands and, you know, trying to get your attention via animation. These characters are very low key. Okay, so here's the end of the line. So we're gonna be a little more turned, a little more turnt. Right, very, very different style of low poly, PS1 inspired animation here. Right, people seem to like, a lot of people seem to like interpret pixel art as as an entire art style, and like low poly as a singular art style, but that's not really the case, right? Like pixel art, low poly is more of like a medium of art that you can have art styles, multiple art styles inside, right? Like how, like how you can just look at, my VTuber Bunleth, who is PS1 inspired, on the bottom right of the frame, and just compare them to these snake ladies. They are different. They are both low poly, but they are different art styles, right? Zile Finko says, are you using vertex coloring in any way in your game? Yes, absolutely. The environments have lighting painted on using vertex colors. Maeve says, they're like the old ladies in Dark Souls 2 who roast you, but more charming. Well, thank you. That's a very nice compliment. Okay, so this Kingdom's Bath. Agony. One second. Sorry, everyone. I was figuring out lunch. I probably should have dipped a BRB there, but anyways, lunch is figured out. Back to the stream. Okay, so we had a bad keyframe there. It does not belong. Now, obviously, this looks a bit unintimidating right here, right? So, I mean, this is most characters with big snouts like this. Like, you never look at them head on because they look kind of silly. You always have to, like, look like this, right? So, as this character's torso rotates to look at us, right? The head gets more head on. So, we're going to have to rotate the head in the opposite direction to compensate for that. Okay, perfect. AC Bob says, hey, I watched your pilot. I didn't know you streamed. This is so cool. Yep, I stream every Sunday. Awesome. Okay. Awesome. That head movement looks pretty good. It's synced. I'm going to put the VA volume to max just so we can preview it.
Another lost hunter sticking its nose where it does not belong.
That looks pretty good. It could be better. So now that I've seen it, once again, I think her body is a bit too animated when she's speaking. I'm getting a bit too, a bit too animated, over animated. Like the way the head juts up when she says, "Sticking its nose where it does not belong." right here. I think it's a bit too much. So we're just going to tone that down a bit. Okay, so we're just gonna grab the curves. Yeah, as you can see, this giant jump right here, from here to here. That implies there's a lot of movement between these two keyframes. So we're just gonna tone that down a little bit on all of our axes. Eva Code says, do you allow scaling of bones? Yes. I can't... hold on. I know a lot of animation 3D uses that to mess with perspective, but I don't remember PS1 games doing much of that, just rotation really. There's definitely a lot of perspective tricks that PS1 games did, for sure. But maybe not as frequently as they do now, just by nature of people, you know, in the 90s not having as much generational knowledge to reference, but it definitely did happen for sure. Okay, now previewing this, we can see that her arm is not moving at all because it hasn't been animated, right? So this, you know, Snake Lady B's right arm is not really moving. And once again, we'll animate the belly snakes later. So they're just going to be static. Okay, just drop some simple keyframes down for the arm. It's not a central focus of the character, but it does need to be animating, right? So, this right arm right here. There we go. Just kind of some in and out, you know, just like up and down to imply breathing. Piggle HF says, hey Bunlith, first time watcher, but have been following over socials and Tumblr for a bit. Hope the anime is going well. Appreciate you. Appreciate you too. Thank you so much for coming. Awesome. So we're going to, excuse me, animate the camera. Because obviously she's kind of high in the frame. So my style of animation is very much like handy cam. I kind of treat the camera as another character. Which isn't really true for a lot of like cartoony animation, right? It's not really like handy cam. But I just like that style a lot. So a lot of shaky cam. I just like that style. Cool. Awesome. It's a pretty good shot. I'm pretty proud of this shot. But we're not done yet. I think this whole stream might be this first shot. This goes to show how much work it goes into animating a cutscene, especially with 4 characters. Okay, so we are going to actually set up a. Yeah, we need to add a driver. We need to add a driver to change the distance fog. To be able to animate the distance fog. I just forget how to do that. Add driver, object, empty, edit driver. Hold on, chat. I need to reference a blend file that you're not allowed to watch because it is from Bunlithstra episode 2, where I have... Actually, no, I can open up episode 1, but I don't want to show that, so I'm just going to dip to BRB for a second, but I will be talking. Enjoy the fan art while I reference a Bunlith Show asset that I do not want to stream. Secret blending, absolutely. Okay, so we're just going to copy this. X scale world space. $25 meters. Okay, I'm jumping up from BRB, from the BRB screen. Okay, so now we have a driver where if we scale this up and down, it changes the distance fog size. So I'm just gonna copy this driver and paste it on all the other materials as well. Which is super annoying, and I don't like how we have to do that, but unfortunately, that is how this is set up. Okay. Luz says you can also Google it, LOL. If you're talking about how to set up a driver, I think opening a different file and just copying a driver instead of spending 10 minutes trying to relearn myself via a tutorial would be a lot slower. And I'm trying to act as fast as possible. Also, a reminder, please no suggestions or ideas in the stream. Thank you very much. Okay, so so these characters need to disappear into the darkness, right? What happened to our music? There it is. Okay, now these characters need to disappear into the darkness. That is their, you know, they're kind of ghost-like. They kind of slide around in and out of darkness, in and out of visibility. So that's what we're gonna do. So once we're just gonna get the pacing correct. First, we need to extend these animations a bit. So we're focusing on the character on the right side of the frame, right? So while this character talks, these characters vanish into the darkness. Okay, your mouth is going to close here. Perfect. Okay. And then, just a preview, we're going to slide the snake back. You are... Snake Lady back into the darkness. We need to set... Fortunately, this pig is too far, too close. Kick the pig back a little bit. Pig. Right, yeah, so these characters slide in and out of the distance fog. Right. Right, so obviously this character isn't animated at all. They're kind of just sliding, which looks a little silly. But as you can see, she disappeared into the darkness. Tactical Taffy says, how are we doing at this fine day? I believe this is my first stream to catch from you. Oh, been a fan for a while. Happy to have ya. You are listed as a first-time chatter, so I would assume that is the case. Alright. Perfect. So now obviously we need to animate this, right? So she kind of like leans back. Leans back. You know, pelvis first. This is the pelvis first spectral type of movement, I guess. Right, like I said, they do technically have legs, I believe. They are blacked out, but they do technically have legs. I don't know why, but you know, this is more of just a control for the cloak. Right, and they kind of just float. They kind of slide along the ground. Rosewater says live lizard reaction in the top right. It's true, it's true. Should probably be FK. I don't care. Right, so they vanish into the ether. Hands kind of go out, right? So they're kind of just doing some spooky spectral shit. Sorry, so once again, my overlay is broken. It is playing the notification, so I'm just going to read it out. Odyssey Eurobeat has a tier 1 sub gifted to them by Orintho Raptor. Thank you so much for the gifted sub. The snake left without saying goodbye. The snake will show up in the next shot, right? So it'll kind of like goes away, right? And then it'll come back in from another angle and like surprise the main character who they're talking to, Victor. And of course, the mouth is opening while she does this. She's being a little sneaky. Rosewater says, I love lizard people. They look so neat. Awesome, thank you. It's looking a bit... still looking a bit artificial. So we're going to have her stand upright a little bit. Like that. Snake Woman has a wonderful voice. Yes, Snake Woman is voiced by Tash Ritter. Okay, so I think the main issue with this is that just by how perspective works, the character is just moving down the frame, like she's up here relative to the frame, and then just goes down and down and down because this is an upward angle. That's how perspective works. So it looks a little unintimidating. So I'm going to have her float off the ground as she vanishes to make it look a little more. It's an attempt to make it look a little more ethereal. But we'll see if it actually does that or not. Yes, perfect. Then we're just gonna move her further back, just so there's some, guarantee that she's in the darkness. Keep an eye on Snake Woman on the right. Yeah, just vanishes into the darkness. Now we need to do Snake left. Same thing. Just she vanishes as well. And that keeps the frame. This is a long shot, so I think that keeps it a little interesting. She is perfectly this valley here, right? She's perfectly got a really good silhouette right in the middle of the frame, and these characters kind of just disappear into the background. So let's do the other one. This snake is even less of a focus, but we do still need to animate her. So once again, we're just going to grab her root motion. Have her back into the darkness. Then, of course, we move her body, head forward. While she moves backwards, we're going to move her cloak towards the camera, right? It's kind of billowing behind her. That's very classic Ghost. That's some classic Ghost animation shit right there. Once again, my overlay is a bit broken, but we are getting the notification sound. Ora, thank you so much for the raid of 6. Hello. Raid of 6. Hello. Thank you so much. Glad you're all here. Okay, so we're going to just continue moving the character, animating the character as she vanishes into the darkness. Right. One second, chat. I'm going to get the door. I'll be right back. And chat, I am back. I'm leaned forward. There we go. Hello, hello. Yeah, let us continue. I just was getting lunch. My friend, my bestie got me lunch, so I was just getting it. We got Raiders. Yeah, I was present when Raiders came in. Hello. What's for lunch? Sesame tofu from the local Chinese food place. Okay, this character, the other snake, the snake on the right, the arms trailed back when she vanished into the darkness. This character is kind of like putting her arms back, kind of like posturing, you know, like kind of intimidatingly, with her elbows out. That. Go. Here we go. Like that. Go. Seven Sentinel says, hello, I street passed you at MAG. Oh, yeah, I had like 100 people street past me at MAG. It was awesome. And then my 3DS broke immediately. That's great. Okay, yeah, that's fucking good. Let's look at this cutscene with full voice acting volume.
Another lost hunter sticking its nose where it does not belong.
Beautiful. And then you see them vanish into the background. I think that is something that happens halfway through the shot to keep it interesting. I'm gonna eat some of my food here. Okay. Beautiful. All right, so we're gonna set up the next shot. The next shot, what is the next shot? The next shot is this one's not going to the clock tower, which if you've played the main campaign, which you are expected to before you play the DLC campaign, this will make, this will give it context. I know out of context, it sounds kind of random, but...
Does not belong. This one isn't going to the clock tower.
Right. Okay. So, this one isn't going to the clock tower. So in the previous campaign, in the main campaign, the snake ladies help the hunter get to the clock tower. Right. So they're like, this one's a little weird. Who is this one? You know, this isn't a hunter. So that's what that line is for. So we're gonna cut to a new shot here.
Knows where it does not belong.
Excuse me. Thank you so much. Melody CM says, learning question, if it's okay, do you use real-time auto keyframing much for particularly dense tracks, or are single keyframes easier? I never use auto keyframing. So there you go. Okay. Rosewater says, I love the background trees. Oh, thank you. Yeah, they're just part of the skybox texture. Okay. So, in between shots, we're going to move Victor closer. Victor will now need... Yeah, Victor will now be closer to the frame. We do need some shit in the background. Hold on, let me just make a really simple, like, just some simple cliffs. You know, just enough to. You know, just to imply that there's some assets in the background, even though there really aren't. But that's the power of distance fog, baby. Oh shoot, Sick Marker, thank you so much for the 20-month streak subscription to the Prime. I'm so sorry that the overlay is broken, but we do get the notifications, so that is helping a lot. Thank you so much. There we go, okay. So let's give Victor a proper pose. This was a placeholder pose here, so let's give him a proper pose. We also need the ground to be visible. Victor does not have the distance fog applied to him. That was a mistake. Oh no, we don't have the driver applied to him. Okay. Fogless Victor. That's what they call him. Okay, so distance fog will be back to normal at 6 meters. It'll be good to have the grounds. Come on, where's my camera? Where's my camera? There it is. Yeah, we need a bit of the ground there. I'm actually going to add a texture to the ground. Just so it's a little more accurate for us to preview. Oh, goodness gracious, excuse me. Okay, so grounds. We're just going to grab a dirt texture. This is our standard dirt texture. That is bright as fuck. Fudge. Give me dirt. There we go. There we go. Add some dirt. It's too bright. Let us darken the dirt. The dirt is very important to ground the characters, literally. Get up this fog at home. Y'all are so... Chat, you're so funny. You crack me up. I'm so sorry, chat. I was muted on accident. Okay, so we're just grabbing a tree here, just so we have something in the background, so it's not just the black frame, right? Let's turn off the where's the? How do you turn off the grid floor again? Oh, it's here, isn't it? Okay, there we go. That's a lot better. Okay. So we just have the X and Y. Victor's off the grid. Yeah, so we just need some assets that aren't blackout. Honestly, we don't even need the floor anymore if the tree is in there. Is there any other asset? Let me see here. Chat, can I do an audio check? How's the music in relation to my microphone? Is it good? SGTM? I don't know what that means. Music's fine? Okay, glad to hear it. Can't really hear the music, TBH. Everyone was saying music was too loud. Now we're getting music is too quiet. I can't with y'all. Says full stream could possibly be slightly bit louder. Like I said, my volume is right up to yellow, and as people have observed, the entirety of Twitch seems to be quieter than every other website, so I don't think there's anything I can do on my end, unfortunately. My volume sounds fine? Okay, good. Is the pipeline from Blender to Unreal? Yes. Oh, sorry, I just stretched my wrists out. Okay. So Victor is just watching. Okay, and then... And what I like about these characters, so I'm gonna put the volume back to normal. Is it like overlapping their lines as they like come in and out of the frame?
Clock tower. Then where, pray tell, is it going? This one isn't going to the clock tower. Then where, pray tell, is it going? Going. Is it going?
Beautiful. Okay, so now we need to animate the other two snakes. We don't have a lot of time left, so I don't think we're able to finish this shot. Finish this shot. But we're gonna at least get it started. So one snake, they're gonna come in from the fog again, right? So we're gonna have snake. We're gonna have this snake. And once again, they come out of the darkness. the character kind of comes out like this and like kind of surprises him, right? Leans in. But it's also kind of floating by, right? They're kind of like ghosts. Come by. You know, hands, you know, just kind of floating by, you know? He does have a giant wheel, which is super annoying. Happy National Lesbian Visibility Day. It says UU Cat. Oh, I didn't know it was Lesbian Visibility Day. Okay. So, once again, these are kind of feet. These are like rigged as feet controls, but there aren't really. You never see the feet. They are technically there. They don't even have a texture. But these cloaks, they kind of float by, right? Kind of just fluttering. Let's get a good pose here. She's ethereal. She's ghost-like. So you're gonna be rotated a little more. There you go. She's kind of flying by. They're tall ladies. They're tall ladies who bully and laugh at whoever comes through the forest. Right? They're kind of investigating this one. Who is this person? There we go. Awesome. Like the lady from RE8? Sure, yeah. Okay, so your head, yeah, it's not. Ava says, I just random person browsing, recognize you from Blue Sky, love your 3D stuff. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Once again, the belly snakes are going to be animated later, so they are currently clipping through stuff, but that's okay. There's a keyframe error there. Let me fix that. gonna bonk his bell hat.
Isn't going to the
Very ethereal. They flit along, circle the character.
This one isn't going to the clock tower. This one isn't. This one.
Yeah, I don't know why I was surprised that the tall snake ladies that bully and laugh at you, and are like 8 feet tall, became a fan favorite. I have no idea why that's the case. Don't know why I'm surprised. Okay, and she kind of twirls away. Cthulhu says, make the women fatter. They are just a bunch of snakes in a trench coat. And they are existing characters in launched content. I can't change their design now. Did I stutter? Okay, you're getting a bit too aggressive in chat. I'm gonna ask you to tone it down, Cthulhu. Thank you. All right, Crania is now, what are you saying, clock T? Yeah, see, this is exactly what I was talking about, chat, about how I don't want to just be playing the same line over and over again. I'm sure it is very annoying. So we'll see if but people seem to be enjoying the stream a lot. But you know, if we get too many people who find it annoying, like Crania, then I'll probably just not stream animation anymore. I'm fine. Oh, okay. Okay, so, you know, we have this first animation getting blocked out. I'm just doing this. This is off screen, but I just want to get this pose in just to convey, in my head at least. what's happening here. Yeah, so it's very, very stiff, right? It's very stiff, but the timing and the posing is there. So now we can go back and polish it. When he says, I've at least been enjoying learning about the animation process for sure. It's crazy how you kind of chip at it. It's a lot of work. You kind of just improve it, and then you call it done, work on the next shot. Okay. How are we doing on time? Okay. I got like another half hour. What's going on here? Okay, so the torso kind of has a sudden start and stop here. So I'm just gonna a little more like that. Down. Back. Just a bit of a circular motion there. Getting a lot of I'm going to turn off root motion just so we can see what's going on, because a lot of issues could be hidden behind root motion. Because the whole body is moving, it's kind of hard to see how the individual body parts are moving relative to each other. So this is what the animation looks like without root motion. As you can see, it looks a lot like you can see a lot of apparent problems going on here, right? That you couldn't tell with the root motion turned on. First off, these hands are fixed, these arms. Awesome. Looking good. So. I kind of want her to lean. She kind of looks like she's kind of just sliding along the ground. Which, of course, is what she is doing. But we want her to look more ghost-like, right? So I'm going to lean her in. Okay, then we're gonna trail the dress behind, right? We're gonna trail the dress behind even more, right? We really want to exaggerate it. There we go. Okay, so let's see how that looks now. Right, it's a little more ethereal, right? Yeah, but like dragging behind makes her look more like a ghost. Okay, what's going on here? So as you can see, the motion trail here, it's not. There's a bit of a crimp here, so we want to fix that. Looks like it's a bit unnaturally slow here as well, so we're going to offset that a little bit. To help evenly distribute the movements. Love how she slides, says Gentle M. Thank you. It's kind of what we were going for.
Its nose where it does not belong. It does not belong.
Awesome, awesome.
This one isn't going to the clock tower.
Okay, that's good. Oh, hi. Hello, chat. I'm back. Okay. Yeah, this character's gonna be like, you know, they're big, tall, judgmental, 8-foot tall women, snake women, who like playing with their food. So, let's see here. Welcome back, bee. I'm not a bee, I'm a bun. What about arms crossed? Yeah, I think I want to do arms crossed. That won't even be visible with the nah, not with the tummy snakes. It needs to be. She's quizzical. She's like, this one isn't going to the clock tower. So she's like, you know, her hands gonna be like, okay, so we're gonna do trying some hand positions here. Once again, no suggestions, no ideas. I am simply sharing my thought process. Me trying to come up with ideas is not an invitation for you to contribute. Thank you very much. Fox, I'll see you later. These proportions are so fucked. These leg bones really should be FK. I don't really know what I'm thinking, what I was thinking. Stomp Aureus, is this going to be a MP4 or an in-game cutscene? This is an in-game cutscene. This will be in-engine, Metal Gear Solid 1 style, right?
The clock tower. Then where, pray tell, is it? Clock tower. Then where?
Bad guy says, "Hey Podster, hope you're doing well. Love your content, both games and videos. Thank you so much. Thank you so much."
Sticking its nose where it does not belong. This one isn't going to the clock tower. Then where?
That looks pretty good. Obviously, it's very unfinished. It's very, you know, blocky and stiff. But like the actual like the pacing, the timing, it's feeling good, right? This one comes out as soon as the other one comes in. Right. So I see. It feels pretty good. She's gonna have you double back. She's gonna like double back like this. And then yeah, go around the back like that. I think that'd be interesting. That'd be more interesting. Both go out scene left. That might be a little weird. Let's see. I'll return this motion path off. Okay, there we go. I think it's fine.
Is it going? Clock tower. Then where, pray tell, is it going?
Awesome. Feeling pretty good, feeling pretty good. Let's get some basic poses out now. Alright, so let's finish that upward motion. Okay, we're gonna have her kind of lean against her motion. While her cloak, while her dress, cloak, whatever you want to call it, drags behind, right? I know they're rigged like feet, but they do kind of flutter along like ghosts, so their feet kind of drag behind. Okay, that's obviously way too fast. So let's slow that down a bit. Jay Brook says, "This is what happens to me when I take too much melatonin." Y'all are so funny. How are we doing numbers wise? 130? That ain't bad.
Then where, pray tell, is it going? Tell, is it going?
Yeah, that feels good. That feels very flowy and ethereal, right? These are mysterious snake ladies.
It going?
That's pretty good. Let me animate the arm still. Yeah, that's nice. That feels good.
Where it does not belong. This one isn't going to the clock tower. Then where?
I think I'm gonna have her come out of the darkness a little bit slower. Comes in a bit too fast.
To the clock tower. Then where?
Is that too slow? Let's see.
This one isn't going to the clock tower. Then where?
I think it's a bit too slow now.
Clock tower. Then where, pray tell, is it going?
Yeah, that's good. That was good. They look nice and spooky. We obviously need to animate Victor.
This one isn't going to the clock tower. Then where, pray tell, is it going?
Okay, we need to animate the hands.
To the clock tower. Then where?
Tapperhead says 40 bits. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry the overlay is broken, but we are getting the notification sound, so I'll call him out. Thank you so much for the 40 bits. You're clipping into the. Oh God, these the proportions. These characters were rigged in 2017, and I can tell, as a person who has been animating for 9 years, since doing that, since rigging the characters in 2017. She's kind of blowing him a kiss, which we don't like. That is cute to think about, but that's not what she's doing. that's out of character. That is a cute little visual, but that is out of character. Yeah, 2017 was 9 years ago. changes would you make to the rig now if you're starting from scratch? I would actually look up ratios between, you know, where the elbow should be relative to the hand and the shoulder. so it's correct. Same with the knees. Then I think the elbows are too low and the knees are also too low. And that's just something I have to live with these rigs, because, you know, the Bloodborne PSX I started in 2017, shelved it for a couple years, and then picked it back up in 2020 as my COVID project. Was it 2020 to 2021? Anyways, yeah. That looks pretty good. Obviously, once again, these snakes haven't been animated yet, so they are clipping through. That's fine. The feet are not the dress, the flowy dress. Floaty dress goes spinny. Right, exactly. Okay. And as she turns away, we want the dress to drag behind. Rosewater says animates so smooth. It's cool to see. Thank you, thank you. I'm glad the animation stream is going well. I think like if I had the volume at 1, like I do when I animate off stream, and just going through and going like this, and like doing this for like hours, I'm sure it would drive people nuts. But playing it at 20% volume seems to be good enough and to not annoy everyone. This is good. Okay, so we have a couple minutes left. I'm gonna spend that animating Victor. Super simple. We'll polish it later. When he says the one time Twitch being quiet in most videos comes in handy. Okay, so we need a simple breathe here. Turns to look. Bit surprised, leans away, right? He's surprised that there is a snake lady there. Whoa. Oh, what's that? Pops the arms out a little bit. That's a bit too much. He is slightly surprised, but these snake ladies don't scare him at all. He is more just like startled that the snake lady's behind him. He's not like scared, right? Yeah, he's kind of just like, ugh, get out of the way, you annoying snakes. But you know, obviously he's still, when he hears a voice behind him, he's still gonna reflexively go like, oh, you know, so. But yeah, I think the arm popping out is like peak, like, I'm scared. So we're gonna keep his arms at his side. He is calm and collected, more annoyed and startled than scared, right? He's not begging for his life. He just finds these snakes kind of annoying. Okay, once again, head turns first. And then of course he'll rotate. Eye needs to be visible at all times, even if it's just a little bit like this. This doesn't have to be. It's a bit too unafraid. He needs to be like leaning away like that. There we go. That's the emotion we want. You know. Ugh. He's just like, ugh. Right. Leaning away, kind of annoyed, kind of disgusted, doesn't really want to be close to these snakes, but not like scared. Okay, then brightens up a little bit as the snake gets further away. Then goes, ah, shit, there's another one behind me. Goes like this and goes, leans back this way, whips head around. He is upright though. There we go. Brightens up a little bit after the initial reaction. Right, once again, trying to stay composed, but it's still startled. Okay, returns to center of gravity a little bit. Obviously not that, like that. It's a bit too linear. Should be rotating the body. Yeah, there we go. Awesome. It moves back a bit too much. Shaitol is asking to share assets. No, thank you. So this is... Okay, so over-rotating a bit. There we go. Okay, this return to center is too fast. Okay, and then we look the other way when the character goes along his back, across his back, right? Like this. Boom, there we go. Kind of leaning away once again, right? Not scared, but kind of just doesn't want to be near them. Be near the snake ladies. Okay, it's a bit too slow. That's good. Awesome. Okay. So we're gonna move his... Okay, like that. Let's see how it looks. It's gonna be very stiff, but this is a pretty good progress. Okay, so we need some more motion. So we're gonna turn on motion paths so we can take a look. Not really helpful. Okay. Okay, we lean body away. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Still very stiff, but we're making good progress. This is 18 seconds of animation, by the way. I'm pretty proud of myself for doing that much. A lot of slow animation, right? This isn't like super action-packed or anything. But that's a lot. Overall, it looks great, thank you. Yeah. Victor looks very floaty. Yeah, V looks very floaty. Shidle says I'm still trying to learn myself. Yeah, it's difficult. It's a very long process, but, you know, in my biased opinion, there's not much more. There's not many things in the world that is more satisfying than animation. For me, personally, obviously, I'm my own person with my own biases. I'm sure everyone else has things they find more satisfying, but for me, that is not the case. With the things I've tried so far, obviously. I will keep looking for things that I do and doing things that I enjoy, and I you know, that's just what life is, right? But I really like animation, having characters come to life. That's not bad. I wouldn't be disappointed if it shipped like that. If Victor shipped with looking that stiff and floaty. Last thing we're gonna do is do the lips. Alright, do I have time for that? I think we'll stop there. Let's put these lines at max volume so you can actually hear it. There's also some dead air between, not dead air, but like lack of animation at the end of the first shot and the start of the second one. That'll be fixed. I'll fix that later, right? This is all polish. This kid's gonna fly right through the tree. No, it goes right in between. Perfect. Wow, it's like I planned it all along. All right, let's watch this cutscene.
Another lost hunter sticking its nose where it does not belong. This one isn't going to the clock tower. Then where, pray tell, is it going?
Beautiful. All right, the next line, which we don't have yet, is Victor's first line, which I'm just gonna play it here, and that'll be another shot, right? Or maybe it'll be the same. It'll be the same shot, right? Victor will just start speaking with the same camera shot. So we're gonna play. Yeah.
Pray tell, is it going?
It doesn't concern you, and I am no hunter. Now let me pass.
There we go. Right. So I'm gonna play it one more time with this line that we don't have animated yet.
Another lost hunter sticking its nose where it does not belong. This one isn't going to the clock tower. Then where, pray tell, is it going?
It doesn't concern you, and I am no hunter. Now let me pass.
It's good. Yeah, that'll definitely be the same shot. Like he'll just start emoting, right? He'll just look past the camera and start emoting. So that'll be one shot. And then the next line is, not a hunter? Then why does it remind us of the hunter we played with? Blah, 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 blah. A lot of talking. This cutscene's gonna be pretty long. But yeah, so that'll be it for today. We are at time. That was really fun. I'm actually really surprised how fun animating on stream is. That was great. I had a lot of fun. I will definitely be doing that again in the future. We'll be animating cutscenes. It's gonna be awesome. So thank you so much, everyone, for chilling. It's been great. I will see you all next time. Yeah. Peace out, everyone. Bye bye.